back to the Pirate 30, everybody, where we go over your favorite ECU sports in 30 minutes or less. My name is Mason.
I'm Jake.
All right.
So this game was actually the last home game for students. Well, not last official home game, but the next or last official home game is going to be over Thanksgiving break. So a lot of students aren't going to be there. So
If you are here, though, yeah.
If you are
you're-
here,
If you're in
definitely
the
go.
area, show out for the Pirates.
But for a lot of us, this was our last home game, and we played Tulane, who's actually ranked 24th in the country.
24th in the country.
So we were very nervous going into this one.
Yeah, if you, I'm sure a lot of you listening were walking around the stadium. You heard opinions of people, what they were saying before the game. I can tell you right now, if you took us even coming close in this game, you're lying to yourself. I heard all of you around the stadium. Everybody was saying that we were going to get destroyed. This wasn't going to be a close game.
But then the first quarter happened, and I heard people all around the stadium going, "Yo, are we actually winning?"
Yeah. What's happening
10-0
here? Are the
first
Pirates doing something? Did we actually start off hot like we did last week for one of the first times this season last week?
It was a great first quarter, extremely explosive. We came out with energy yet again.
Quick 10-0 lead to start off the game. It was exciting.
It was.
We can get into what happened in the rest of the game
Let's
in a second.
Talk about the first quarter first.
Maybe not as exciting.
Let's
we'll
have
get
some
into
fun
that,
real
though.
Quick.
But no, the game started off 32-yard pass to Jalen Johnson. I said it last week, and I'll continue to say it. Maybe the best football player on this team, transferred from Georgia.
Incredible
an
ball
beast,
player.
A dog. I think he's a top 5 player on this team. He started off the game hot. And then we got a field goal, 3-0 to start off the game.
Yeah, great first drive, just like last week.
Just solid, except we made the field goal.
We did make it,
which is good. Yeah. We're moving up.
But not only that was the offense performing well in the first quarter, we immediately went on defense and we forced a punt for Tulane's first drive.
Yeah, the momentum started for the Pirates. This was a hot start, just like last week, because we talked about this last week. If you would have asked me 3-4 weeks ago, hot start is quite literally the opposite of what was going on in Greenville. If
we had this podcast a few weeks ago, it would have been
it wouldn't have been much to talk about. Luckily, since we started the podcast on episode 2 now, we have had two pretty exciting games compared to the rest of the season. I mean, we're gonna look at our team with a fair view. We are a 1-8 ball team. That's just the simple truth of it, people. But there are things to look at in the last 2 weeks and say there's promising things moving forward. Hopefully, those promising things stay right here in Greenville for the Pirates. They don't move anywhere else.
Absolutely,
depending on what year they're in.
Let's go through this first quarter a little bit more real quick, because this is the fun part. Yeah. We were performing 10-0 by the end of the first quarter against the 24th best team in the country.
The entire country. And we brought it up last week. We were the 8th or 9th best offense, or
worst.
8th or 9th worst offense. I wish best.
Yeah.
In the entire country, D1 wise, heading into last game, we were the 8th or 9th worst offense. So to come out last week and have a hot start, come out this week and have a hot start, it was great. It's just we didn't keep it in. But moving back to that first quarter, Chase Sowell also had a 22-yard pass, which eventually led on that drive to a 1-yard touchdown.
Gerald Green banged it up for 1 yard for a touchdown, making it 10-0.
Yeah,
we didn't let Tulane score at all.
Yep,
we stopped them.
And towards the end of the first quarter, Tulane had it on our side of the field. They went for it on 4th and 4, and the Pirates showed out, stopped them on our side of the field.
Huge stop by the defense to end the first quarter.
Didn't come away from with a single point in the first quarter, which led to a second quarter that actually started off pretty hot for us too. They got into our red zone for the first time with 7 minutes left in the second.
Yeah, it was an extremely long drive. We were making them fight for every yard.
Yeah. That fighting for the yardage, though, is also, I mean, in the end, it's what hurt us.
We did say, the time of possession they dominated in that field.
Possession. We can, as we get farther into the second.
Okay. Yeah, so going into the second quarter, Tulane got into the red zone for the first time in the second quarter with 7 minutes left. It was an extremely long drive. Our defense was making them fight for every yard.
That's a great thing, though, is the first quarter not letting them in the red zone one time. Are you kidding me? I would have prayed for that like 4 weeks ago.
And then they didn't get it in until like partway through the
Well, second quarter, through the second quarter. But that the time of possession is just what in the end, making them work for it was one thing. Yeah, I was happy to see it at first because it's like, all right, they're not getting any big plays. Then you move into the second half, and that's eventually what killed us is just not taking the ball away from them. They work those long drives, and we can't get it back to the offense, can't get any momentum going. Because that's momentum, it shifts and it stops if you let a team just do that to you. Like if you're the offense on the sideline, watching them just roll down the field slowly, questioning when you're going to get the ball back. That's what hurt us later on. So I was happy to see it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Sadly, it continued through the game.
But a 9-minute drive to start off their first scoring drive. 9 minutes.
Yeah, and just knowing we're up 10-7. I mean, you can say anything about swinging momentum, but when you're up 10-7, you got to be feeling good that whole time.
Yeah.
And eventually, that they ran away with it. There's nothing you can really do about that. But we'll move on as we get closer.
Well, close to the halftime, we had another huge stop, which could have put the score up even more, but they settled for a field goal.
Yeah. But there was a holding flag in the second quarter that frustrated me. It was frustrating to watch because the ref was right there. The ref was maybe 10 feet away from the ball. He could have thrown the flag. It was so clearly holding. Tulane threw the ball outside of the numbers towards the sideline. I can't remember who the wide receiver was at the time, but he missed the ball. He missed the catch. But there was such a clear tug on the jersey. The ref was right there. They showed the camera view. It's just, if you're Houston, you got to be so mad.
And this is the second week in a row where a mistake by an official halted a potential momentum change, right?
Yeah.
Because last week they blew the play dead, even though he wasn't down.
Yeah,
it looks like he might have been, but then when they replayed it, and it would have been a touchdown, and that would have probably changed the momentum as well.
Could have been maybe our best offensive play of the season. Just seeing how that could have gone if he spun out of the tackle and ran into the end zone. Awesome. That would have been such And this was, I mean, not the same type of play, but at the same time, something that if the ref would have thrown that flag, we would have moved the ball forward, automatic first down. We would have gotten it, I think, around our 40, 45. And then if you move it into even just field goal range from there, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at at that time, what would have been a 13-7 ball game, even with just a field goal, moving from 10-7. But I mean, there's nothing you can do from there. That's the second quarter. There's a lot of turf left, a lot of game left. And at that point, I mean, momentum changes, but you got to get that back. And we just never did it. We couldn't bring it back. We didn't score after the first quarter.
There's 13 unanswered points.
That's upsetting.
We thought at the end of the first quarter that we might have this one.
There was
at least score a little bit more, but
there was that feeling, especially because we were at the stadium. If you were at the stadium, it wasn't the most packed game in the world. It wasn't shoulder to shoulder in that place. But as time went along, and as it felt like, oh wait, maybe we had this, I saw more people rolling in. You could feel the excitement.
Yeah, the energy was going up.
Yeah, it was there. People felt like, oh, maybe we pull this off. Because like I said before the game,
everyone thought we might get shut out.
Yeah,
we're playing a ranked team.
Yeah, we're playing a ranked team. Offense moves in with not a lot of momentum for this year.
It was just promising. It was just awesome to see throughout the game, like at least the first quarter, like people just whispering, it was hope. Like, "Yo, are we actually winning this?"
Having hope in the air. Because it was
fun.
We're a 1-7 ball team heading into this. We were 1-7.
Yeah, they have the complete opposite record, at least going into the game.
7-1.
7-1, and we were 1-7. So to see like us play like that in the first quarter was amazing.
Shouldn't have been close, which is what that feeling of hope of like, oh, maybe we got this, and then just no momentum from the offense for the rest. Because I mean, we talked about. I'll get into the third quarter in a second, but there was a moment at the end of the second quarter where they were about to score. There was less than 30 seconds left in the game. They were on our side of the field. They were in our red zone. This was a 10-7 game at this point. We had a 3-point lead, and it felt like, oh, wow, okay, this is how it's going to go. This is how all season has gone. They're going to score a touchdown. We're going to go into halftime 14-10, and they're going to have all the momentum, shut us out in the second half. That's not what happened, people. We had they threw the ball. It was a long play. The quarterback drew it out for too long for Tulane, the Tulane quarterback. He started running around. We brought the pressure, and he threw the ball. They dropped it in the very back of the end zone, and time shut off. We were going to head into half 10-7. You could see some players were trying to leave and go back for halftime, and then the refs brought them back. They were like, hey, we have to review this. And then they checked it. When the ball dropped, there was 1 second left. So they got a field goal.
It was awesome. I actually thought, like, okay, halftime, like, things are going to go, like,
it's a 10-10 or at least tie game.
At least before halftime, it was like, okay, Tulane's going to score, and then ECU's going to have no time to score before half. I was just like, okay, whatever. We'll come back in the third. But they did a great stop.
Yeah,
made it a tie ball game instead of them winning.
Let's shout out that red zone defense.
Yeah, absolutely. The red zone defense has been great.
Because last week we let off some huge plays, whether it's a run or an.
Last week it was more running, like the run game. We couldn't really figure out.
Our run defense struggled last week, but our secondary at the same time, while they had some solid plays, then they would let up an 84-yard touchdown to a UTSA.
So it's the big plays really do kill us, where the opposing team will gain a lot of turf just like in one play.
Yeah, that's what hurts us. Is we have momentum, and then out of nowhere it's bang. Which today was actually the opposite, or yesterday, Saturday, was actually the opposite because we didn't give up a lot of big plays. It wasn't a huge play game.
The first drive by Tulane, it was just few yards like each play.
Which is what killed us. We looked, because we just talked about it, but we looked at that when we were watching the game, and we were like, all right, I'm happy about this. We're not letting them.
But then it did eventually turn into some passes that we let up that were for quite a bit of yards.
Our red zone defense has played solid. The last 2 weeks, while we let up the huge plays, once we get teams in the red zone, we've played good football. And that touchdown at the end wasn't completely a play made by us. He did drop the ball, but at the same time, we brought pressure. We put pressure on the quarterback. We had him run out of the pocket. He tried to make a play. They couldn't make it. And we were that close to going into the halftime 10-7. But 10-10 against a 24th ranked team in the league or in the nation. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Are you kidding me? Compared to what people expected heading into the game.
Let's hop into the third quarter real quick. Pretty boring quarter overall.
Yeah. Wasn't much going on in the third quarter.
The biggest event that happened in the third quarter was actually Tulane ing their own kicker.
Yeah.
And he missed the field goal. So it's a pretty comedic thing that happened in the third quarter. But that's about it. Score remained the same.
That's really what hurt us though with the whole time of possession is that they moved the ball slowly down the field. They ended up icing their own kicker. He shanked the kick. He missed it. And so it flew.
They did eventually come back in the fourth quarter and make a field goal, and that's ultimately what the score was at the end of the game.
But that was quite a slow through because they did that. We got the ball back. I believe we punted right after that.
Yeah.
And then we gave them back to them for another long drive that I think even may have led into the fourth quarter.
I'm sorry, but icing your own kicker is crazy.
Yeah.
We just absolutely had to mention that.
I don't think he thought about it going into it, but that's rough because he made it. He made the kick the first time, and then second time comes up.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, he shanked.
That's stressful.
Yeah. It is what it is, but we headed into the fourth, 10-10 game, still tied. It felt like we had it. Fourth quarter, Deontay Johnson. I said this last week. He's a beast.
He's been doing real good.
Monster
huge
on that defensive line. That is a big boy too. He's huge. He would run me over no second, or no. I would have no chance. I would have no chance. He's huge. But he, I think maybe our best defensive player this entire season thus far. Past few weeks, without a doubt, it's not even a question in my mind. This dude's a beast. When it comes to bringing pressure on the quarterback, no one leads in this team like Deontay Johnson. He shows up by example, and the rest of the defense has showed out. We mentioned it though. Run defense has lacked. It
has been, a lot of big plays let up.
But football is won in the trenches. Football is won on the line. I said this last week. If you can hit the other team's quarterback and make sure they don't hit yours, you have a 60% chance of winning a ball game.
Absolutely.
And while our offensive line has lacked somewhat, at the same time, I can be proud of the pressure that we bring to the quarterback, even if other parts of the defense do lack. But I'm not blaming this game on the defense. There's not a second that thought goes by my mind. 13-10, you can't.
Besides a few, outliers, a few plays that they gained a lot of yardage, but other than that, we have been looking real good.
Yeah, we're money. Yeah, but we're 1-8, so like you can't sit here and say we're Alabama, not even close. But I can sit here.
There's
and
still
say,
a lot of good things we can take away from.
Yeah, I can say we went up against the 24th team in the nation and held them to 13 points.
We really made them work for this win. This game could have gone either way. It went down to the wire, which I want to say is really exciting. Like we haven't really gotten that much games that just really went down to it, where it could have been anyone's ball game. Like that was really exciting to see, especially for the last unofficial home game of the season.
Yeah, especially last week when we tried to bring up like positive points, it was still a 41-27 game. Mm-hmm. That's all you can really say. But this week it was close. There was hope.
We did lose in the end. There was a few really bad mistakes, but overall, I'm against the 24th best team in the country.
There's not much more you can ask than what we did with the expectations heading into the game. Except the one thing I can ask for is, 0 points in 3 quarters. Come on, man. Come on.
We just need to find a way to, because the past 2 games, the first quarter, we have been coming out like just, running it down their throats, scoring. Mm-hmm. Everyone's looking great, lots of energy. We just need to find a way to harness that and ride it throughout the whole game. Yeah, and then we're a great team if we do that.
If we come out, thing is we will come out and everything's clicking on all cylinders. Run game, because me and you talked about this before. The run game and the pass game in football, they complement each other. When one works, it makes it so much easier for the other one to work. And so when the pass game is going, all of a sudden he's going to start running the ball better. But right now he's averaging a little over 3 yards a carry. Well, last year, Keaton Mitchell averaged over 7 yards a carry. That's a big difference in the run game. But you see that when Flynn's out there making plays, it makes it so much easier for the run game to do their thing and vice versa. And with the team we have set up this year, we need that. We can't have one carry the rest of them. We can't have a Keaton Mitchell out there that's averaging over 7 yards a carry, doing absolutely everything for us, because we don't have that. We need both of them to help each other out. So when you have all things clicking in the first quarter and then it just slows down, we don't have that superstar right now to just bring it out.
We can't do it. Everyone needs to be on the same page, all hands on deck to win the game. And we can't rely. We're a team. We need to, every single person needs to have the energy, and wanting to win this ball game. And it just once it gets later in the game, it just seems like kind of fizzles out a little bit. Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, I'm not gonna blame this for a second on the defense when you hold a 24th ranked team to 13 points.
Yeah, no.
But there were moments in that third quarter and part of the fourth quarter, the first half of it, where I just thought like, yeah, they're dominating time of possession. If the defense can just just make a play on third down, just give it back to the offense. That's what hurt us, is that they dominate time of possession and the defense couldn't make that one play on third down to just give the ball to Flynn. So then Flynn's just sitting on the sideline like, when am I ever going to get this back?
And when the game, it's Tulane, they convert a 4th and 1 to win the game. And we're not going to fault the defense. It's 1 yard. Could go either way. It's just pushing, just bodies, just trying to fight for just 1 yard. Like
doing anything to push.
I'm not going to fault the defense for not being able to stop a 1 yard run.
Yeah, like, especially because they stopped them on the 3rd and 2nd. Before that, it was 3rd and 2. They stopped them the 4th and 1. Game was on the line. They push. It is what it is. Especially with what you see in like the NFL now with the tush push, the brotherly shove the Eagles are doing. It feels like 1 yard in football right now is the easiest it's been to get in years.
It is. You just push.
I'm not going to blame that on
that's all you do.
Yeah, people are finding a way to.
Yeah. So overall, 13-10 loss against the 24th best team in the country.
I'm not going to be mad about it.
There's definitely a lot of bad, but there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good to take away from this game. But unfortunately, we are 1-8. We got to face the facts.
It's just the truth. It's the hard truth.
It's the hard truth.
Not a very good football team.
But I think this game was very exciting to watch. I think this was a great game overall
for what everyone was expecting.
Absolutely. Like
absolutely,
I think basically everyone thought that we were going to get shut out.
Mm-hmm. We had
the energy was picked up in the stadium. We were all
thank God, because we had it's like we said, there wasn't a terribly large amount of people in the stadium at first. It was decently quiet, and then we got rolling out of nowhere. It was 3-0. It's like, okay. There's still no expectations, but it is what it is.
That rolled 10-0. It's like, whoa,
okay, we got it.
We're here.
And then 3 quarters of no points.
But even though we didn't score, went down to the wire. We should have won, but
it's the phrase "what if." What it just sits in the back of my head about this game. Just like, what could have happened? What would that have looked like? Not even for the football team itself, but for the fans. What could have happened? I mean, you see all these people week by week getting upset wins. Their fans storm the stadium. It's exciting, and then. It's just like,
we almost had a chance.
We
almost had it, but there is still some great things to take away from this game. Great defensive game.
Yeah, our defense, it
very good defensive game, and then offense in the first quarter was great to see.
It's just the same thing. It feels like every week though, where it's like it's those moments where
last week it seems like very copy and paste. Last week I think we were ahead at one point. And then just kind of fizzled out.
You have to give a lot of it to the coaching. When you see football games like this where it's time of possession dominated and it's close down the stretch and it's little by little, a lot of that goes to the coaching. A lot of it, you see a coach realizes like, okay, we're not going to get a lot of large gains on this team. After one half of football, you kind of hit that realization where it's like, okay, we're not going to hit a bomb for 40 yards all the time. We're not going to hit a 20-yard pass on this team all the time. We need to take this slow, grind it out, and leave here with a win. And that's what Tulane did. They outcoached us in the second half. He took it moment by moment and did what he had to slowly run the clock down and eventually leave with a 3-point game. I think he realized like we're not crushing this team like with the way today's going.
Yep.
And it worked out. We got outcoached. I can't lie. And a part of that's also really frustrating is that it feels like when we have momentum going, there's creative plays being made and we find ways to open up the middle of the field and get players like Jalen Johnson out there. And then things slow down and I don't know why we do this, but it's
screen passes.
Screen passes. Yeah. We went to that last week. It's like we have no momentum. We hit third down. And he's like, screen pass, maybe it'll go huge. But like, why not just put the ball 5-10 yards down the field? Why not see what happened? Why just do that? And I mean,
we love our screen
college.
passes, though.
Yeah, it is college, so it's like the game's not as perfected as the NFL, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. I see it all the time in other college games too, but it feels like we just do it all the time, and it's really frustrating. It's frustrating to see. I feel like we didn't. I mean, we still did it, but not as much as other games. Like 3-4 weeks ago, Screen Pass City.
Yeah.
Like,
screen passes flying everywhere.
Yeah,
so many of them.
We lived with the Screen Pass, which I don't know.
Which it's good. It's good that we're not doing it, I guess, like as much. But it's still every time we see it, it's just like
yeah. I feel like that's just a big part of those slow moments we have. Is just creative play calling just goes out the door. We start off the game, we're hot, we're getting creative with it, and then that creation just it exits. I don't know why. And then that's when you see the momentum dipping is because people feel like we're not moving the ball, we're not getting things done, and then it just slows down. I don't know.
All around, gotta shout out Tulane for coming down to Dowdy and giving us a good show.
Yeah.
They're a great football team, and they really showed out, and we had it was a really exciting game.
They gave us a hell of a game, and I'm happy about it. I was happy with what we had. It's like we said, hope. I'm happy.
There's hope
because the truth is, you look at this season, we're 1-8 at this time, 1-7 heading into this game. We're not getting a bowl game. That's just the truth. We're at this point in the season, whether it's college or the NFL, when you're at this point, you look and you say, what can we take and what can we go into the offseason? Hopefully keep, hopefully not transfer, and hopefully head into next season with those promising pieces. There are things there. 3-4 weeks ago, I would have told you it's slim pickings, but
yep.
There's things to take away now and say we have something heading into next season to at least work with to get better with.
Absolutely. And even though we won't be going to a bowl game this year, next week we have Florida Atlantic, an away game at 4:00 this Saturday.
If you happen to be there,
if you happen to be in the area for any reason, definitely show up.
This week, not next week. Yeah, this week, this coming Saturday.
But yeah, anyways,
we'll get into all of that.
If you happen to be in the area.
If you happen to be, if you somehow are in Boca,
if you for some reason happen to be down there, definitely stop by.
Definitely stop by and support your Pirates. Don't go to the beach. Go to the Pirate game. Why wouldn't you? But also just to mention it. So later on in the fourth quarter, let's just go over the end of this past game real quick. We had Jalen Johnson on a third down. This actually, despite it being incomplete, one of my favorite throws of the entire game because Alex Flynn bulleted this ball.
It was a dime.
It was a dime. Third quarter, there wasn't a lot of places to put it. I believe there was a corner and then a safety move forward to come cover him. So I think he was almost double teamed. The safety was a bit far away though. But he absolutely dimed the ball in to Jalen Johnson. He didn't make the catch. It was a tough catch to make.
It wasn't
a give me. It
was a really good play, even though we couldn't,
Yeah. He just
couldn't haul it in, but
I'm not blaming that on Jalen. The thing is, you got to make plays like that in close games, though. So I'm not going to blame it.
So again, lots of good, there's some bad, definitely, but all around.
We saw that targeting call too. We didn't even mention that.
Oh yeah, there was that.
There was a huge targeting call in the fourth quarter. They called it back. Thank God. It was questionable targeting call. Both players kind of dipped down at the same time. It was helmet to helmet, but you can't really blame that on our.
But he was running at him. It wasn't like a blindside.
Yeah,
he was just trying to make a tackle. Accidental helmet happens since it's football.
They both went
running into each other. Play. But I'm glad they called that back because that
could have changed everything.
It did result in a great stop by the defense yet again. The defense is killing it as usual. But
then that Jalen Johnson missed catch turned into a fourth down that we just didn't convert. I don't know about that. That comes down to the coaching. I don't know about that fourth down call. There's 7 minutes on the clock. You got the defense playing good. The defense is stopping them. And then we didn't convert. It was 4th and 6. And with 7 minutes left, I think if you punt right there, the defense could have stopped them, at least done something to give us the ball back. But we fail. They get the ball back. They take it down super slowly. And then
it's all she wrote.
It's all she wrote. Came down to a 3rd and 2. Stop them. 4th and 1. They push forward. Not blaming that on defense, though. But like I said, when it comes down to close football games like that, it's the plays like that Jalen Johnson catch where if you make it, it's like, oh, what if? Because if he did catch the ball, first down, that's what we leave this game saying, folks, is
at least we didn't get shut out.
What if?
It was a great game.
Yeah, great game, but what if? That's all that you can really say about this. We're facing the 24th team in the nation. We're coming in 1-7. They're coming in 7-1.
Yep.
What if? What could have happened? But it didn't.
We got a lot to work on. And next week we have Florida Atlantic. We already mentioned that. And any other sports we got going on?
We'll see.
We got basketball today.
I keep trying to think back to this. If there's some if statement that I know, if ands and buts, there's something like that. You get the point. God, what if? What could have been? All right, yeah. But this weekend, today, let's mention this. Today we got basketball, people.
Basketball is back.
Pirate basketball
Finally.
is back, people. We
Another
got
sport.
yeah. We got 1 second.
Furman.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know. The word femur was like going. I was so close. What's her name? Furman.
Femur.
It's like the femur.
We're playing femur.
It's like your leg, right?
At 7 today, so make sure to pull up to that if you're in town.
Yeah, just wait. Before we go over this game, we got to mention Keaton.
That's right. And shout out
and the questioning thing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just to shout it out. Former ECU Pirate Keaton Mitchell, 9 carries for 138 yards and a touchdown in a Ravens 37-3 win this weekend.
Absolutely great to see.
What a performance!
Give it a round of applause.
Yeah, come on. Give it up for him. But yeah. Coming from a Ravens fan, I've wanted us to unlock him all season. I'm so happy he got his chance in this game. Any Ravens account you follow that's had the same caption, it said "Weapon Unlocked." He's here for the rest
representing
of the
the Pirates.
He's representing for the Pirates, one of the best players we've had in the last decade. He's a beast. He's a beast. He is one of the fastest players in the NFL. Go check his Madden rating. His speed's in the top 10. It's fantastic. So shout out Keaton.
Yeah,
Great game. Hope to keep seeing more of him.
Awesome.
Coming up. Also, just a little segment we're going to be doing. If you're seeing this, go on our Instagram. Go on Instagram at ECU Sports Network. Whether we put this as a clip or on something else, just ask us questions, people. We want to see your questions.
We will read them next week.
Yeah, questions, comments, statements, anything you got. We'll read them. We'll go over them. If it's a comment, we'll say what we think. If it's a question, we'll answer. That's all we got for you guys. But just to go over the games coming up this week too. Tonight at 7:00. We got the ECU Pirates basketball, baby. We're back.
Finally.
Against Ferrum tonight at 7 in Minji's Coliseum. You guys better be there. We need to show out. We got a promising basketball season coming up. I have hope for what we got. I'm excited to have more sports coming around.
Yeah. We're also going to be talking about basketball too, just to make sure.
Yeah.
We're
next week we'll be here talking about, the football game, but also the 2 basketball games this week.
Yeah, there's another one too.
Because we have another one on Saturday at 2:00. Saturday at 2:00. We got Pirates basketball again. So 2 games this week. We'll go over both of them, just going over the
team. The football game too. Lots to talk about next week.
And football on Saturday. We got football and basketball on Saturday. Yep. Would you look at that, people? And like we said, if you're in Florida, if you happen to be in Florida,
for whatever reason you are in Florida, go see the Pirates.
Show out and show up for the Pirates. This is the Pirate 30. My name is Mason.
I'm Jake.
That is Jake. Like we said, go on our Instagram, ECU Sports Network, comment anything. We'll take it and we'll talk about it next week. But yeah, this is a Pirate 30 where we go over all of your favorite ECU sports in 30 minutes or less. It was nice talking to you guys this week.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you later.